Here are the top stories of the news. 33 killed in attack on BUI district in Kebbi State following deadly armed cattle rustling incident. Annex says over 1.58 million permanent voter cards collected in FCT ahead of Saturday's council elections. On the firing scene, at least 3 aid workers killed, 4 others wounded in drone attack by RSF in Sudan. Good afternoon and welcome to Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. I am Temitope Ajijolaoluwa Ola. The Kebbi State Police Command has confirmed that 33 people were killed in an attack on BUI district and Arewa local government area following the deadly armed cattle rustling incident. Spokesman of the Kebbi Police Command, Bashar Usman, said this in a statement. Police authorities expressed deep regret over the loss of lives and extended condolences to the bereaved families and the wider Arewa community. The statement added that preliminary investigations indicate that suspected Lakurawa militants entered BUI district to Russell Castle. The attackers are believed to have crossed into the area from Gudul local government area in neighboring Sokoto state. The police command emphasized that incidents involving heavily armed criminal elements require coordinated security intervention. Troops of the Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinke have arrested suspected terrorist collaborators and recovered drones and other logistics during coordinated operations across Adamawa and Borno states. In the statement issued in Maiduguri, the Media Information Officer of the Theater Command, Sani Uba, said troops of Sector 4 under the 28th Task Force Brigade, working with local vigilantes and hunters, on Thursday apprehended a 28-year-old suspect, Ismail Mohammed. The troops described the suspect as a logistics supplier to insurgents. The arrest took place in the Visik general area of the Hong local government area of Adamawa State. Uba added that in a separate operation in Madagali local government area, troops ambushed the Visik river line, where a terrorist commander identified as Abdullahi Mafa was neutralized. He further disclosed that troops acting on intelligence arrested a 64-year-old suspect, Dauda Gubola, alleged to be a terrorist collaborator and drone supplier at Madagali Motor Park. According to the statement, items recovered from him included 2 aerial drones, accessories, and 20 solar power banks. In Ondo State, gunmen have abducted and killed a traditional ruler, Obakende Jacob Falodun of Alagamo of Agamo community in Akure North local government area of the state. Police authorities in Ondo State said 6 armed men stormed the traditional ruler's residence on Wednesday and took him away. The police command spokesman, Abaya Mijimo, in a statement said the victim was later found a few meters away with gunshot wounds and was confirmed dead at the scene. Jimo disclosed that a team of police detectives has since been deployed to the area to beef up security and possibly apprehend the killers of the monarch. The police image maker called for calm among residents, urging them to promptly provide relevant information that could help the police investigation into the killing, assuring the public that no stone will be left unturned in bringing those responsible for the crime to justice. In other news, the Abuja residence of a former governor of Kaduna State, Nasser El-Rufai, was searched on Thursday by officials of the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. The development was confirmed in a brief statement by his media advisor, Muyiwa Dekeye. According to the statement, ICPC officials arrived at El-Rufai's residence around 2 p.m. and immediately began searching the entire property. The ICPC had on Wednesday confirmed that El-Rufai was in its custody in connection with an ongoing investigation. Earlier, the former governor had visited the headquarters of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, in Abuja over allegations of financial improprieties during his tenure as Kaduna State Governor from 2015 to 2023. Reports also emerged of security operatives attempting to arrest him upon his return from Cairo, Egypt. El-Rufai later claimed that someone had wiretapped the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Rabadu's phone, enabling him to intercept instructions for his arrest. The Fatima Simra multipurpose market, located at the Dakar small-scale and industry multipurpose market in Kano, was engulfed in the wee hours of Friday, destroying not less than 50 shops. The public relations officer of the Kano Fire Service, Samino Abdullahi, confirmed the incident to journalists. Abdullahi noted that the fire started at 5:50 a.m. and that the fire service was still bottling to put it out. Most of the affected shops are into oil production and recycling of nylon and plastics. This is coming barely 6 days after the single market inferno destroyed over 1,000 shops. The fire incident was said to have destroyed properties worth over 5 billion naira and also affected more than 1,000 businesses, while several people were missing. In the meantime, the federal government and SASTE commenced a thorough investigation into the mining tragedy in Zorak community of Wasai local government area of Plateau State, where at least 37 miners were confirmed dead and 25 others hospitalized. The Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, represented by the Permanent Secretary, Farouk Yabo, led a federal government delegation to the site in SASTE. The delegation's visit followed the tragedy that struck the mining community in the early hours of Tuesday, reportedly caused by suspected carbon monoxide and sulfite gas emissions. Speaking after arriving at the affected site, the minister conveyed condolences to the bereaved families, describing the incident as devastating. He noted that preliminary information suggests the presence of toxic gases at the site, although this has not yet been confirmed. The minister expressed disappointment over the absence of technical representatives from the licensed mining company, stressing that license holders remain responsible for safety oversight. The Senate and SASTE confronted the president's economic team over the poor implementation of the 2025 budget and what it's described as unrealistic assumptions underpinning the proposed 58.7 trillion naira 2026 budget, raising the possibility of reducing the proposal during a tense budget defense session before the Senate Committee on Appropriations. Several lawmakers expressed concern over widespread complaints of non-funding of the 2025 budget by ministries, departments, and agencies. Some senators described the exercise as one of the worst budget defense sessions in recent times, citing unpaid contractors, a controversial centralized payment system, inadequate capital releases, and a rising debt profile as major areas of concern. Dissatisfied with the explanations provided by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Edun, the committee turned to the chairman of the National Revenue Service, Zach Adedeji, for further clarification. He stated that previous budgets were often built on faulty assumptions, noting that unrealistic projections had consistently created implementation challenges. However, the chairman of the committee, Adeola Olamilekon, questioned the economic team's confidence in delivering the proposed budget. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, says more than 1.58 million permanent voter cards have been collected across the Federal Capital Territory ahead of the council elections scheduled for tomorrow. The update was contained in a statement issued on Saturday and signed by INEC's National Commissioner and Chairman of the Information and Voter Education Committee, Mohammed Aruna. According to the Commission, the PVC collection exercise recorded a high turnout, signaling strong voter readiness for the polls. The Commission disclosed that as of the close of collection on February 10, 2026, a total of 1.6 million voters were registered in the FCT. INEC said the performance across the 6 area councils reflected encouraging levels of participation. The FCT area council elections are the only local government polls in Nigeria conducted directly by INEC rather than state electoral commissions. Meanwhile, the Nigeria Police Force Federal Capital Territory Command has announced a 12-hour restriction on movement across Abuja and its environs ahead of the council elections scheduled for tomorrow. In a statement, the police public relations officer of the FCT Command, Josephine Ade, said the movement will be restricted to ensure security and the smooth conduct of the polls. The police clarifies that the restriction will apply to all residents, except essential service providers and duly accredited election officials. In the meantime, the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike, has declared Friday a work-free day ahead of the council elections. In a broadcast, Wike said the decision approved by President Bola Tinubu is to enable residents to travel to their communities to vote. In contrast to the police announcement, the minister declared a separate restriction of movement across the FCT from 8 p.m. on Friday to 6 p.m. on Saturday, directing security agencies to ensure compliance. You're watching Spring News at 12 on Western Spring Television. We'll be right back after this break. Please stay with us.